Hey everyone, my name is Darrius Garrett, and the video that you're about to watch is my weekly Wisdom Wednesday message. However, today's message discusses a very serious subject surrounding mental health, emotional struggles, depression, and difficult personal battles. Because of that, this video may not be suitable for some younger viewers, and it may also be triggering or emotionally sensitive or challenging for individuals currently navigating mental health challenges today. I also want to let you know in advance that this message will be a bit longer than my usual videos, but I'm asking that you watch from the beginning to end, from the bottom of my heart. I truly believe somebody out there may need to hear this full message. And unfortunately, social media algorithms don't usually always support longer videos like this. So the video you are currently watching may only contain the first few minutes of the full video. The full message and the complete version will actually be available on my YouTube and Facebook pages, and the links will be in the captions below or on the side of this video. And lastly, if you know anyone, and I mean anyone, young or old, who may emotionally be struggling, feeling overwhelmed, battling heavy thoughts, feeling lost, or need emotional support, please send this message to them. I felt compelled by my spirit to share this message with the world in hopes that somebody may find comfort, healing, encouragement, peace, or understanding through my story. Who knows? The person's life that you save may be the ones that you sent this video to. Thank you in advance for watching, listening, and sharing. Now check it out. Greetings, everybody. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And throughout this entire month, I wanted every Wisdom Wednesday message for this month to focus on mental health, hope, and healing. Honestly speaking, I had another message planned for today, but when I woke up the other day, I received an alert and saw a news article headline about someone here in Merced, down the street from my house, who was involved in a tragic accident with the Amtrak train. And the person was on a scooter. My heart broke. It immediately took me back to last year when someone decided to take life into their own hands right in front of me. Now, I don't know for sure that person's intentions of the reason why he did what he did, but I do know the intentions of the guy that did in front of me last year. And what I do know is this: for every person who reaches a breaking point, there are thousands of other people that are suffering in silence, silently fighting emotional battles every single day. And throughout my life, I've been one of those people. Now, it's not easy for me to say that publicly, yet I truly need you to hear this. Guys, it's okay not to be okay. But when those thoughts begin creeping into your mind, it's important to simply reach out for help. I know it's hard because I've been there. I've dealt with those dark and evil thoughts. I remember back in 2014, I had been recently married for 3 years before then, with 3 daughters and a newborn baby, simply depending on me along with my wife, and we lost everything. We were homeless, then sleeping in our car with the kids, then stayed in a motel, not knowing where our next meal was coming from or even where we would sleep next. My back was completely against the wall. My thoughts traveled a million miles a minute, constantly wondering, how am I going to make a way? I felt like I wasn't a good husband or father, or even more, I felt less of a man. To me, my worth had no value. I felt like a waste of skin, and mentally, I was broken. My mother had just passed away 4 years before that. So the woman that I would call for advice or even begin to depend on or seek refuge in was no longer available to me. I truly felt like I failed my family and myself. I convinced myself that everybody would somehow be better off without me because I could no longer provide the way I believed a man should be able to provide for his family. But before I made a terrible decision, I believe God intervened, not with some loud, dramatic, speaking from a burning bush moment, but just a small, still voice that said, go to the hospital and tell them the truth. Actually, I fought with myself mentally about going. I was terrified, not just scared of admitting that I needed the help, but scared of what people would think about me afterwards. I mean, I'm supposed to be a New York Times best-selling author, a motivational speaker, a freedom writer that was written off but now got it all together, right? No. I was afraid the doctors at the hospital would immediately whisk me away and put me on a 72-hour hold in a straitjacket and throw me into a mental hospital. I was afraid of the stigma and the narrative people create around poor mental health. See, growing up, the only examples I thought of when it came to mental illness were extreme situations connected to substance abuse on the streets or people that suffer from severe breakdowns. I remember as a kid, my friend and I used to see a man sitting at a bus stop, rocking back and forth and scratching himself and talking to himself. And because we were so young at the time and ignorant, that image became what I thought mental illness looked like to me. To me, that guy wrapped up in a straitjacket was my understanding of someone with poor mental health, which he was. But everyone that suffers from poor mental health isn't like that or treated like that. So in my mind, if I admitted I needed help, I thought somehow that would become me. That fear almost stopped me from getting help. That fear almost took me out of here. By the grace of God, I still went to the hospital. When I got there, a psychiatrist came in and introduced herself. She sat down and started talking to me. I answered her questions honestly, even though I was scared to death. At one point, she told me, Mr. Garrett, based on what you're telling me, I believe we may need to place you on a 72-hour hold for further evaluation. Hearing those words terrified me. My heart dropped to my feet. I was right. They're going to send me to the place that I saw in the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I believe she saw the terror in my eyes and sensed the fear and agony that I felt in my heart. But she continued talking to me, listening to me, hearing me. And after the evaluation, she sat back deep in thought, glanced at her notepad, and then looked up at me and she removed her glasses. She took a deep breath and seemed to have kind of like stared into my soul as she looked at me and said something that I believe changed my life forever. She said, Mr. Garrett, you've been through a lot and you're currently going through a lot right now, but I think you don't need the 72-hour hold. You just need therapy, someone to talk to. I'll never forget those words. She leaned forward. Then she told me, look, I'll make you a deal. If you promise me that you'll seek therapy and get the help that you need when you get out of here, I'll let you go home right now. I promised her I would, and that day became the worst, best day of my life. So after I got back to the hotel, I mustered up enough courage and vulnerability to share that story with my wife as I cried in her arms. She embraced me, and as that one song say, we cried together. She said that she knew I was tired, and she told me that she had feeling that something had happened and was terribly wrong. After that night, not even a couple of days after, I ended up getting a job for the moment, and we moved into a house for rent. It almost seemed like I was at the lowest of the low and I had passed some sort of a test to bounce back up with the way that things had changed so fast and so quickly. All the things I went through in that situation taught me that for the first time, somebody helped me realize that needing help did not make me weak. It made me human. And more importantly, it was comforting to simply know that help was available. So I'm telling you this because somebody watching right now is tired. Somebody watching this right now feels broken. Somebody watching this right now feels hopeless. Somebody watching this right now is trying to simply smile in public while silently falling apart in private, like I did. Wearing a mask that they're hoping nobody sees behind. Because, guys, hear me clearly. Don't make a permanent decision based on a temporary moment of pain. In the Bible, Psalms 30:5 says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning." And sometimes when you're hurting, it feels like our nights will last forever or a lifetime, but it won't. Bad days come, dark nights come, storms come, but eventually the sun rises again. Our stories aren't over, guys. You matter, your life matters, your pain matters, and there are people willing to help carry the weight you were never meant to carry alone. Please reach out. Talk to somebody. Tell somebody the truth. You're not weak. You're not broken beyond repair. And you're not alone. So remember, wisdom is not just about knowing what's right, but also doing what's right. Until next time, stay wise and stay inspired. God bless. Hey friends, if this message inspired or uplifted you, sow into the movement and help us continue spreading hope and motivation worldwide by simply liking, sharing, following, subscribing to the channels and social media online, as well as donating using the links in the description below or on the side of this video. Hey guys, thank you for taking the time to listen to my message today. If you're someone you know is emotionally struggling or dealing with overwhelming thoughts, please contact the 888 Suicide Crisis Hotline by calling or texting 988. They're available 24 hours a day. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.